welcome back to Maymarathon day 19. So today I wanted to film a couple of sit down talk videos while I am off on my trip. You guys are also going to be seeing a pack with me right after this, so definitely subscribe and stay tuned. But today's topic, we're going to kind of be talking about things that losing 100 pounds did not quite fix or heal like I thought it would have. And losing 100 pounds genuinely changed my life in so many beautiful ways. Honestly, I'm so happy that I made the choice and the decision 2.5 years ago to really take this seriously this time and just keep going, just keep trying and not giving up this time. But there are also things that, I thought would have changed, I thought would be a little bit different that aren't, and it really did cause me a little bit of disappointment in the beginning. One of the things that losing 100 pounds didn't fix for me personally is just my overthinking. I have a lot of really bad anxiety and I am diagnosed with a couple of mental health conditions, so my anxiety is literally just part of who I am. And even as a little girl, I remember getting a lot of really bad panic attacks and just anxiety fits, and always being scared of being in a very crowded area or speaking publicly or doing anything like that, anything that would make me stand out or be the center of attention. I would just get very, very overwhelmed and just very uncomfortable, and also just overthinking who I am, not only as a woman but as a person. Who do people see me as? I'm being perceived in a certain way. How am I being perceived to other people? And just overthinking my body all the time, overthinking different beauty standards, overthinking, was I really worthy? Was I always bigger my whole life? Just really overthinking certain things. And of course it has gotten better, but I think sometimes I still do struggle greatly with overthinking, and that also includes just being in a relationship. And sometimes I do still have the really bad habit of just picking myself apart, whether that's, about my body or where I'm at in my life. And also insecurities on my really rough days, I still struggle with those. So not only insecurities about my body, but about my journey and story, and, am I making enough progress? Am I doing enough? Am I can I do better? I can definitely do better in certain ways, and just picking little things apart like that, and picking my body apart. When I was my highest weight, I had different insecurities than what I have now. And sometimes even with the weight loss, I can be more critical. I can overanalyze more now that I've lost all the weight, because, I've lost all the weight. I want to look a certain way. I want to show not only myself that I did this and, be happy with my body now, but show other people that it is possible, that if I can do it, they can too. Anybody can do it. And with me losing 100 pounds, I struggle with loose skin. So sometimes that can be really hard, really challenging to navigate. And also people pleasing is something that did not necessarily get fixed during this whole process. Growing up, I didn't come from the best background, the best family, and I was definitely taught that I needed to please everybody in my life to even, go to sleep calm at night. And it was really hard growing up that way, and I'm still trying to unlearn a lot of those habits and, deal with that childhood trauma. But sometimes I still do try to people please, and it doesn't help myself, it only helps other people. And also just feeling behind. I always go back to this train of thought, is everybody's journey and story and life is different. As much as I wouldn't go and relive it and go through all the shit I went through, I definitely can take certain moments and certain parts of it and carry it with me for the rest of my life, because without it, I wouldn't be who I am today. So, and really try to manifest the future that I want. Just trying to be grateful with where I'm at in my life, no matter what, because this is only the beginning for me. And I've also had to kind of learn how to find balance even after losing 100 pounds. That's something I do sometimes still struggle with, is just trying to find balance in my life, not only due to nutrition and food wise and everything like that, but just moving my body, getting my rest days, not forcing my body to just keep going, even when my body's telling me, like, you need to take a break, you need need to rest, you need to eat a little bit more, maybe cut back on the sweets a little bit, you know, everything like that. Finding balance. I'm really trying to learn how to live in a place where I don't have to have certain extremes. I don't have to go to this one extreme. I don't have to go to this other extreme. I'm living perfectly in the middle, and I'm able to, you know, restrict where I need to. I'm able to give in more where I'm able to, and just really find balance overall in my lifestyle as much as I can. You know, be on a calorie deficit and work out and drink plenty of water. I can also enjoy a drink. I can go and enjoy a meal at a restaurant with my partner. I can, you know, indulge in other areas of life without it, you know, taking over my mind and body and soul, and without feeling guilt about it, and really without just overthinking it, overanalyzing it all day, all night, all week. Something else that has been a struggle with me, especially after and during my weight loss, is just old family dynamics. But yeah, in my family, I've honestly had to cut a lot of toxic family members out of my life because just the lack of support, the lack of respect, the lack of dignity and love that they claim they had and just didn't show it. Their words, their actions, everything they did in front of me and behind my back showed me and let me know that they're better off out of my life. I'm better off with them out of my life. And sometimes, unfortunately, things do have to come to that. And I think it not only goes for family members, but friends and even relationships as well. If something is not serving you, or if you really have to take a step and think, is this really good for me? And most of the time your answers are no. It is okay to get that out of your life for your better self. And with that also comes feeling resentment, not only from family members, but other people I've had in my life, you know, ex relationships and ex friendships. You know, kind of be wary on whose energy you let into your space, whose energy you let affect your energy, because I'm telling you guys, energy transfers are a real thing. Energy vampires do exist. And with that also comes jealousy from other people, not only related to my story, but just who I have grown up and grown into becoming. A lot of people will put my story down, put my weight loss journey down. But yeah, after losing a large amount of weight and you try to become friends with other women who maybe have the same journey and story as you, but just have maybe the same interests, like going to the gym or, you know, just working out, going on hikes, walks, and stuff like that, you're gonna get two responses. They're either gonna click with you immediately, and it's gonna be somebody that you run into and it's really good energy. You know, you may not become best friends in the beginning, but it's just somebody that, you know, when you see a friendly face, it's really nice to see them. You know, you sit there and you catch up for a minute or two. They're gonna absolutely fucking hate you for no reason other than they're resenting you, they're jealous, and they're envious of you, and they just don't want to say it, and they exclude that mean girl energy. Sometimes that would make me think, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, is it how I'm approaching them? Like, is there something wrong with me? Why am I not good enough to make these connections with other women that I thought we could, you know, be friends or at least say hello to each other? And now I'm getting the stink face across the gym, and every time I go to talk to you or something, it's just this bitchy attitude. It's like, it's not cute. And another thing is just grieving who I used to be. When I look back, even at old pictures like that I did have growing up, and, you know, the few and far between before photos I took, I literally do not recognize who I'm looking at. And, you know, there's parts where, yes, I do recognize her. You know, there are times where I miss who I used to be growing up, and, you know, before my innocence was taken from me, I miss who she was. But I also don't recognize her. She's just somebody that I don't know. She's somebody I don't recognize, and I'm trying to heal with that. I'm trying to heal from that, and I think, you know, and just in therapy in general, I think I'm doing a really good job. But I think sometimes I still do disassociate myself right now and my past versions of myself, not only because I was just going through so much. I was literally surviving some of the hardest seasons of my life, but it was just why would I want to think about the worst times in my life? And you struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder, and that causes memory loss like crazy for me. So sometimes I honestly genuinely just forget. Putting an end to my old self, you know, knowing that I will never be her again. And this is where it's gonna get a little emotional, girl. I already feel it, but yeah, honestly, knowing that I will never be her again is bittersweet, but it also is a little heartbreaking because I knew going into this whole weight loss journey, let me take a sip of water, but I knew going into this whole weight loss journey that I would have to dedicate everything that I could to it, and that's exactly what I did. But I didn't think I would have got this far. I never knew, like, okay, I would be sitting at my goal weight. I would be fitting into an extra small to a small when I was once a 2X. What? Like, I never thought that I would have a successful weight loss journey after being a child who was always bigger and yo-yo dieting my whole life, and my whole family being, you know, made of obese people. I never thought that I would have a success story. And the fact that I do, like I said, I'm so happy. I'm so proud. It tastes so good. It feels so bittersweet, and I would do it again and again and again. It's really hard still, you know, looking at younger versions of myself and past versions and knowing that she has to go through all of these things just to end up where she is right now. And it's hard to think about sometimes. It's hard to know that, you know, I don't remember a lot of things from my past. I shut out a lot of things because I was literally just surviving. So it's really hard sometimes, but I'm glad I made it out of there. I am glad I'm where I'm at right now. I had to learn the hard way that, you know, weight loss can change so much about your life, and it can really change your body, but it will not automatically heal the relationship you have with your body, with your self-worth, and with, honestly, your relationships, whether that's familial or friendships or even relationships. You have to put the work in, and you really have to dedicate yourself to not only healing from, you know, past traumas and growing up maybe a certain way, but, you know, becoming an adult and figuring out what is best for you. But honestly, at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, I am so incredibly grateful and proud of myself for losing the weight. I wouldn't change anything. But honestly, the biggest lesson out of this whole journey is that becoming your best self is not only about the physical transformation. It is about the spiritual, mental, and emotional journey that you also take at the same time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me for this my little TED talk, my little TED talk. But yeah, that is everything that losing 100 pounds may not have fixed for me personally. I will see you guys next time. Bye, babes.